Well, hello again, Taos. So we seem to be having some technical difficulties. We are so sorry. We did not have these problems this morning. And a particular apology to Isabelle St. Onge. I'm going to remove my mask here for a moment. There's only 3 of us in this big room, and so that you can hear me better. So Isabelle St. Onge, the director of Vista Grande High School, wonderful charter school here in Taos, was going to join us remotely, but we were having trouble on the device we were using to help bring her in. You can find a bit of our talk with her this morning on the Taos News Facebook page. We did a short test on LiveStream this morning with her, and it went beautifully, so we are sorry that we're having trouble now. Thank you to Kit Carson Electric Cooperative for letting us use their boardroom, and many thanks to my 2 weekly guests. Here, it's almost like we should be having pizza parties every Thursday. I am here with Anita Bringas from UNM-Taos and Dr. Lillian Torres from Taos Municipal Schools. And we're doing these every Thursday at 2 p.m. And sometimes they bring guests from various other fields and classes in the schools to talk about their ongoing efforts to make sure that students get the education they need in these strange times and that everybody remains safe. So I'm going to turn it over to Anita, and she will start.
Thank you, Stacy. It's a pleasure to be here with you again, and with you, Dr. Torres. It's always a pleasure. I really appreciate the Taos News creating this forum for us to share with the community, our students and families, on what our plans are and protocols are for the fall term to make sure that we're continuing to educate our community, and especially to do that in a safe way. So thank you. UNM-Taos classes start. Our fall semester begins on Monday, August 17th. It's hard to believe that we're already through the summer, but we're really excited to be resuming back classes. We have decided to have most of our courses on an online and remote format. With a handful, we figure it's about 20% or so of our classes will be offered in a face-to-face format with some online instruction to support that, following very strict COVID-safe practices, including screenings, temperature checks, protective wear, masks, and whatnot, and extensive cleaning and sanitizing of the facility, social distancing, etc. Part of that process and determining what that process is going to be was the requirement to develop a very comprehensive reopening plan for UNM-Taos, both for UNM main campus and with support from them, as well as the higher education department. That plan has since been completed and approved by HED, and we do have that available on our website if you're interested in reading that full document. I'll be sharing the website in just a moment, and I'll share it in the chat feature as well. So I do want to share that with the handful of face-to-face classes that we are offering, and those are mostly in the areas of things like art studio or some of our career technical education courses that just can't be provided over Zoom. Some of our science labs and math labs will be offered in a face-to-face format, but everything else will be offered online and remote. So the online is strictly, you log into your computer, you access the modules, you submit your assignments, and there is no meeting class time on most of those. Whereas the remote structure, you would be logging in at set times during the week in an engaged and interactive way using platforms like Zoom. Now I know that the online format or the remote Zoom format can be a little bit intimidating. It's new for many students. It was new for myself, 5 weeks ago or 5 months ago when we started this, and I fumbled around with Zoom as well. But I do want to encourage you that if it's your first time taking online classes, or even if you think you can't take online classes because you don't have a computer or access to reliable internet, I want to assure you that UNM-Taos is here to support you in that way. And if you have the will, we will help you along that way. We do have access to tablets and laptops that we can check out to students to use during the semester. We also, thanks to the strong partnership that we have and the amazing work that Kit Carson Electric Co-op, Kit Carson Internet is doing to provide both dropping lines to students' homes as well as providing hotspot areas around the community, as well as a Taos Education Collaborative, which is identifying 100 free Wi-Fi hotspots around the community that are available for students to use. In addition to that, we do have access to hotspot devices, Verizon hotspot devices that we have some that we can check out to students as well. So we're here to support you in that way with technology and devices. And we also continue to be here to support you through our other services around the community, around the campus, excuse me. For example, our Student Services Department continues to be available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. They can be reached at 737-6215 or email the general campus email, taos@unm.edu. They can assist you through every step of the application and admissions process. And they also can share with you information on financial aid opportunities and scholarships that are available. So even though we do have one of the lowest tuitions in the state, being able to apply for, if you're eligible, the financial aid scholarships would mean almost zero out-of-pocket costs for you or your family. Additionally, through our Center for Academic Success and Achievement, CASA, our tutoring services continue to be available through remote platforms. So we have professional staff and faculty tutors in all subject areas, and we also have professionally trained peer-to-peer tutors. So these are students that may have already taken the class or are currently in the class that can sit with you in a Zoom-type format and walk you through the process in, be it through the Math and Learning Lab or the Writing Lab or any other topic or subject that you might be needing that support with. Our library services and resources continue to be available, although it looks a little bit different. You won't be able to go to physically check out books out of the library, but they do still have some resources available for that as well. If you're a student that is not, that is looking to complete your high school equivalency or formerly GED, our Taos Education and Career Center continues to be offering courses online as well, with a great deal of wraparound supports and structures available to assist you there as well. We also have services to support our veteran in the community through our Veterans Upward Bound. So if you're interested, we can help you. And what's nice about the VUB program, it's veteran students, active or former military, that are interested in returning to college. It does not necessarily have to be UNM-Taos, but we sure would be glad to have you as a part of our Lobo Familia. We have our TRIO Student Success Services program that has a great deal of supports as well. So this is just to say that all of these supports, though our facilities might be closed, our campus and our services are still open, and we're still here to provide you and help you towards your pathway to success. So I think that's really what I wanted to mostly emphasize and share with you all today. Just one last reminder is that not only do classes start on Monday, August 17th, but we also are working with the Taos Pueblo Education and Training Division that is hosting their drive-through back to school event on Monday the 17th from 12 to 6. That will take place at the Taos Mountain Casino parking lot, and there will be a variety of different educational support organizations through the Pueblo and the community that will be giving away school supplies and information on what students and their families can expect for this year. So I just want to thank you all again. Again, if you need to reach us, you can do so at 737-6215, email at taos@unm.edu, or visit our website, which is taos.unm.edu. Thank you. Thank you, Stacy and Dr. Torrez.
All right, thank you, Anita, very much. And if any of you out there have a particular question for Anita or Dr. Torrez, feel free to put them up on the Facebook page, post them on Facebook, and if we have some time remaining, we'll ask those questions. You can also text questions to 505-470-9843. And now we're going to go to Dr. Lillian Torres.
Hello, Stacy, Anita. Thank you so much for inviting me here today, as we do every Thursday. I just wanted to say thank you to our community for continuing to support us in many ways. One of the things I wanted to remind parents is if you haven't had a call from the school, or if you have any questions about devices, how they work, or you're having any issues, please call immediately. Call your school so that you can come and have some help with anything that you need. We did send a letter, parent guardian letter, a few days ago, and it's very important that we continue a close communication, because we want to make sure that we are communicating with every family. What our goal is to communicate at least once a week, and I'm sure teachers will be daily communicating with students, but we really want to make sure that we are meeting our family's needs, and it's very important that any information that you need, you call your schools. One of the things that came up is that what are we doing with our food services? Is student nutrition still happening? Are we still having lunch, our breakfast and lunch program? The answer is yes. We have breakfast and lunch Monday through Friday. It's from 10 to noon, and we have every school open for family members to come by and pick up breakfast and lunch for their children. Now, we also have our buses, as we did last spring. We have over 100 routes that we go through. So the routes are exactly the same. So if you know what the routes were last spring, it's the same thing. There's only one stipulation or regulation that this USDA national program has, is we used to be able to feed everyone in Taos, but with this program, under 18, but with this program, you have to be enrolled in Taos Municipal Schools, which means you have to sign for the lunches. And so we can only feed students who are enrolled in Taos Municipal Schools. But everything stayed the same since the spring. We have the same program going. We do have an addition. We didn't used to open Arroyos Elementary, but now we are. So every school is open for breakfast and lunch. So everyone, please make sure that your child gets their breakfast and lunch on a daily basis. I also wanted to update everyone on the desks for students. At last night's board meeting, our board approved moving forward with the equipment that we can process and send to the Public Education Department. So in about 30 days, we're hoping to get approval, and we have so many desks that we have at every school. We would like to give them to any child out there, a parent who wants their child to have a desk to put in their bedroom or living room, or even maybe your employer would allow them to take their desk if you're going to be taking your child to work with you. These desks are for no charge, and they'll be yours forever. You can have your child decorate them, and they will be yours. Now, today is the first day of school, and we began with the remote model. And the remote model we described at the last Thursday at our town hall. We did have 4 teachers come and describe the remote model. Last night at the board meeting, we had an hour-and-a-half presentation with many teachers, the 7 teachers that will be doing training statewide. They did an incredible training and just presentation for the board. If you're interested in that, let me know, and we can get the recording of that meeting for you. So the first day of school with remote model, we have had a few glitches, and please, I just want to say thank you for your patience. We have a few devices that we gave out that were broken, and parents had to come back, and so in the last 5 days we've given out and made appointments for 2,000 parents to come in. So we are still distributing these laptops and iPads, even as I speak now, at the high school. So we are almost finished with that, and so thank you so much for your patience. We're still continuing the hotspots, and Kit Carson is still helping us with the hookups to any parent that would like to get a hookup, or we can do the hotspot. We're also coming along in the next couple of months. We will have tutoring available. We have access to 200 tutors because it's virtual, and UNM Albuquerque will be offering us a partnership where we will have these tutors available. So that is also coming. One of the things we're going to be doing is the Public Education Department is expecting us to start our assessment of students. So we will have that in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So students will have more information about how we will do our assessments. One of the main things that we've been working on at Taos Municipal Schools is what we call social emotional learning. Social emotional learning is so important for every student and staff member. It is the awareness around you. It is how you're feeling, how comfortable you are with your environment, what's happening in your daily lives. We have a social emotional learning plan that we are working on, and our plan is to make this a 10-year plan. We want to take our second graders and we want them to go through 10 years before graduation of social emotional learning, because it is so important for them to have for the rest of their lives. One of the things we'd like to do with our plan, we had our first social emotional committee meeting this past Wednesday, and we came up with some things that we really think are important and that we think we can do. One of them is committing to making sure that we check on every family and every student on a regular basis, and help with anything they need, from academics to any community needs that they have. So that is what our plan is. We also want to empower our teachers to integrate the social emotional learning into the teaching of all grade levels and all content areas, so that social emotional learning is embedded into all of the curriculum. We also want to assist parents with referrals to resources that we have a list of all the resources that are here in Taos. Sometimes, because we're virtual now, we can access something out of Taos. We have so many resources here in Taos right now that we will be able to help parents with meeting their family needs. As I mentioned last week, our remote learning, our learning management platform is called Canvas, and Canvas is something that universities and colleges use. We have been using this for about 5 years. With Canvas, we have a lot that we can do. Mostly it's academic that we're doing with our students, but we also want to be able to come up with ways that this learning platform can also help. Let's say that a third grader is trying to get a hold of a counselor and has a question, and maybe is trying to make a decision and needs some advice, or needs someone to talk to. And we're researching whether we can use this platform to be able to press a button or do something where you access and you alert a counselor that you are trying to get a hold of them. So that is one of the ideas that we're working on, and we will be speaking with our Canvas experts, the ones that you saw last Thursday. We also want to make sure that we connect with our families regularly with following up Sometimes it's very difficult. We may have to do some home visits because we do have some families that live pretty far out, and it's very difficult for them to communicate. And also, we are going to be partnering with our outside mental health workers. We have Taos Alive, we have Taos Behavioral Health, and many other organizations here in Taos that we work very closely with. So they will be working with us on our social emotional learning plan. Something else we really need to do more is we're in the midst of identifying our homeless students. We have had an increase of homeless students, and it's very important. We're working closely with Dream Tree, and in fact we were able to give them some computers that we no longer were able to use. So we continue our partnership with them, but we do have an increasing number, so we want to make sure that we also meet their needs. We want to make sure that our staff is trained with trauma-informed care. And so we're going to be working with professional development with our teachers and staff. And we also we want to enhance our support for crisis intervention. So these are some of the things that we are working on, and we will continue, and I will continue to give you the update of how we're doing with this. With all of this, we are also aligning this to our staff members. So all of our teachers, and we want to support them also. And we want to make sure that we support their self-care and create services and experiences for them to take advantage of. So we are now currently working on that at this time. We continue to move forward with the social emotional learning, and we have many projects and in our plan that we will be developing. And thank you so much, Stacy, and that's what I have at this time.
You are very welcome. I haven't seen any questions, but I have a couple. We have plenty of time. And again, my apologies deeply to Isabelle St. Onge. When we switched devices, we were not able to bring her on, but she will be on next week. We will get this issue resolved so she can come on next week. So my first question, I think, for Anita is, what are some things you're hearing from students or staff about their concerns about trying to take on college level courses online? I mean, to some degree, online has been used by colleges for a while, but are you hearing some particular concerns, one or two that you all are working to address?
Thank you, Stacey. That's a very good question. So one thing I think that we are surprised and really encouraged to see is that our enrollment for the fall 2026 actually compared to fall of last year by about 14%. That's for head count. So that means more individual students have registered for this fall than they did last fall. However, our credit hours, that's how many courses students are taking, is down. And we believe that that's reflective of maybe there's more students that are coming back to school to look to, one, because they have the time to do it now, two, maybe they're looking to change or advance their careers, but maybe the online classes, they're taking fewer courses than they would if they were face-to-face. We did actually submit through our institutional research office, Alejandra Villalobos-Melendez. In the springtime, she's distributed a survey, one to students and a separate one to employees, to assess what the challenges that they were facing are, both for students and for employees. And the biggest thing that we saw on both, whether they were students or faculty and staff, was managing the studying or working from home with the other demands that people have at home, whether it's caring for children and school-age children, or caring for parents or grandparents, or just the extra responsibilities that they have while being at home and trying to manage and balance that with coursework in the student's case or work responsibilities in employee's case. So we, like Dr. Torrez and the Taos Municipal Schools, are really looking at that to see how we can support our students and employees outside the straight academic supports. Be it through mental and emotional health supports, be it through, we're very fortunate through UNM that they have expanded our annual leave for employees to have some that are very specific around COVID-19 for parents or individuals that need to take some time during the day to address some of those responsibilities that they are having at home. So we're very fortunate in that case. And then the other biggest thing is that we're finding is the access to internet and computers, which of course Dr. Torres has experienced that as well. We have been working since spring. We haven't stopped, continuing to work with Kit Carson Electric, with the Taos Education Collaborative to identify those free hotspot areas around the community, to work with Kit Carson. Also, they're working on a big initiative to make sure every student has internet, and of course they've been really supportive of broadband around the community, not just for education, but also for the economy and workforce development. And we're also very, very fortunate that through several state and federal grants that we have to be able to have some of the equipment by means of laptops and hotspots that we can check out to students. So, balancing, and finding that work life or school life balance amidst all of the, additional anxiety and stress and concern around the pandemic, and then the very technical piece of the Wi-Fi and laptops.
Thank you, Anita, very much. Dr. Torres, I have two questions. One, and we have a story about it in today's newspaper by our education reporter Matthew Narvaez, who all of you out in Facebook land will meet next week when he moderates this forum. So the teachers union and the district reached an agreement on some COVID safety and other issues. Do you want to, and I understand it might be the first of its kind in the state. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, Stacy. What we realized, the union and Taos Municipal Schools, is we're really on the same page. The main thing is to keep our staff safe. We really want to make sure that we take care of them, that we keep them safe. Even when we're doing our blended learning and we bring them in with children, it's going to be very important that we keep them safe. So some of the things that we have, we're going to meet all CDC guidelines. We're also going to provide PPE, which means we're going to have, in some cases, we're going to have surgical coats and for some of the teachers that feel like they need them, plus masks and face shields and gloves and biohazard bags in the classrooms and special waste trash bins. Of course, we're going to have touchless cleaner and hand cleaner throughout, including the bathrooms. So what we decided to do is come to a consensus on what we felt we needed to keep staff safe. On top of that, what we're also working is with our partners. We're working on daycare for our employees. As a matter of fact, today we did make some progress on that. I think we will be starting to call all employees today to go ahead and get their daycare, because even if you have remote learning from home, if you have 2, 3, 4, 5 children, it's very difficult to take a class and do remote learning. So they will have access to daycare. Also, our employees who do not have internet, we will have a hotspot for them. So we have assured them that we will support them in a case where someone doesn't want to wear a mask, whether it's an adult that they're with or any child. And as far as technology, we're going to provide them with the device that they need. And so we're also going to have cross-training for some of the educational assistants, because all of our employees' roles are very different this year. It's amazing how the educational assistants will be helping with assisting online. They'll be assisting with calling parents after some training. They'll be assisting on buses. They'll be assisting with giving out lunches, deliveries, so many things that we need because we're in this situation right now with our remote learning. And so it's really worked out well, and I think that our union feels really good about it. And I don't know if there are any other districts that are doing this. So I feel that we have gone as, above and beyond for our staff to keep them safe and to provide them everything we possibly could.
Thank you, Lillian. And the other question, so you raised this issue of seeing an increased number of homeless
Yes.
students, and I'm wondering, to what do you attribute that, and is there any way that the community can help in that regards?
I think that donations are always helpful, because sometimes with homeless students you don't know specifically what they need. Sometimes things are spur of the moment, whether it's clothing or transportation. And I think one of the reasons is with COVID, everyone's at a standstill. There's not a lot of travel going on. And there are many students that right now are feeling alone, and they really need a lot of support. And many of them maybe weren't identified in the past, and now with COVID it's come to light that because there are many students that don't say anything. They just continue going to school, and so in a case like this you don't know what to do. You don't have a place to be. There's no school for you in the building where you're safe and comfortable. And so we have identified many more students. We just are so thankful and grateful to Dreamtree, because they do such an excellent job with our children.
Sure. And
we have a really close partnership to continue the education of our children. And of course now, with this pandemic, we are working in a unique way with Dreamtree to make sure that we provide everything that we can to our children there.
Thank you, Lillian, very much. Thank you, Anita. To both of you, look forward to seeing you again next week, and this time with Isabelle St. Onge joining us. It worked so beautifully this morning, I can't tell you. Go to the Taos News Facebook page and look about, it would have been about 11:30 this morning, a posting. You will see what it was supposed to look like, which was myself and Isabelle St. Onge sharing a split screen on Facebook. And we were very excited to do this, and then we failed miserably because maybe it was my phone that we were using. So anyway, do join us again next week, Thursday at 2 p.m. Here online at the Taos News Facebook page or online at taosnews.com. You can also find the 2 prior weeks worth of forums on those locations. And thank you again to Kit Carson Electric Co-op. We'll see you next week. Bye.